Narrowboat that James built. Hope you're well, thanks for joining me. It's a beautiful day out here today, so I need to take advantage of that and get this on the roof. So this is the collar wedge thing I've made. I've put about 5 or 6 coats of Bethnal Green coach enamel on there, so it's got a nice kind of gloss finish to it. So that's ready to go. But today I need to cut the hole in the roof, or finish cutting the hole in the roof. It's been raining all week. I'm really annoyed with myself, so the bottom end of the kitchen is basically ruined. It's got a load of kind of debris and rubbish in it, so I need to clear all that out as well. But I'm going to cut the hole out the roof and then Sikaflex this onto the roof, put some holes through it, use my tap and die to put a thread in there, secure it down with some bolts. I don't want to go nuts on the bolts, I just want to kind of just get it secure really. It doesn't have to be that tightly down. It's I just don't want the wood to break basically, so it would just secure it in place. Put a whole load of Sikaflex on there as well. And then my plan is going to be to get a piece of like a thin piece of like adhesive rubber to put on there, Sikaflex that onto there, and then bolt through all the way through it basically, because this won't need to come off that. So it's only the chimney that needs to come off this, so that'll be fine. The only thing I'm wondering is whether it's going to be a decent enough fit. That's why I'm going to put that little kind of rubber seal around it. It was actually Rob's idea. So yeah, that'll probably work quite nicely. Just kind of give it a bit of a better air seal really. And then, yeah, then bolt it through and should be a good one. Let's crack on. This is where I charge my little river on the toilet, because the cable comes through the bathroom window. But what have I got in there? 23%. That'll be ample to do all my cutting today. That's why I put that on there, because I didn't want it falling through. Right, there we go. Get in there. It actually lines up as a result. I'm going to have to put like a nice decorative plate on there to cover that bit up, much like I've done on the stove. Right, but I can do that at a later date. That won't impede me because that's not going in yet. But at least it's the right lineup. Sweet. Well, that jigsawing took what's that? 8% out of the battery. Right, so now purely out of interest, I want to see how that would have fitted on if I hadn't have bothered with all of that. Yeah, I could have probably got that okay, to be honest with you. If I put quite a few screws through that, that would have been all right. Maybe. I don't know. It'd have bent it out of shape, there's no doubt about that. And it'd have pushed it over a little bit. Where I'm hoping now it ain't going to do that. Right, so let's try it with the collar on. Yeah, that's a nicer fit. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. Obviously, I'll fill in all those little gaps. Still need to take a little bit of sanding off on that side, actually. But yeah, that's all right. Right, I've come outside to scrape away some of this insulation here, just so I can get the bolts in. I haven't done this in ages. Luckily, I've only got a small bit to do. Right, now I need to put the holes in this, and I think I'm going to go for one at the top, north, south, east, west, and then diagonal. So there's quite a lot of them in there. I don't know if I'm making a rod for my own back or not, but I think then it will give it a nicer, tighter fit all the way around. The other thing I could do is put in 4 bolts, anchor it all to the boat, and then put in some screws into there, but then I'm going to have bolts and screws. That would look a bit random. So, and the best way to line it up, turn it over and draw it on the back. Right, there's all my pilot holes done. Now I'm going to go through with the 6, widen them all up so it can go and take the bolts. Right, now I've put the holes in there. I can get this lined up, use those as the guides, and basically go through the oak, make a mark on the roof, and then take it all apart and then drill through the marks I've left. So that's all right. I think that's the right spot. Well, it fits, that'll be fine. Right, I can line up those. I think that'll be the way to do it, bit by bit. Right, I've now got to open up these pilot holes to 5.5s because I'm going through the 6mm tap. So just widen these a little bit. It all lines up, which is good. Right, now I've gone through with a 5.5mm on those ones. I can go about tapping them, which is basically putting a screw thread on there for those that don't know. My tap set is incomplete, so I've used Rob's. I think he's a bit of a fan of his label maker. Anyway, so I'm going in with a 6, obviously. And what I'm going to need is that tool, which is the die. Right, a bit of WD-40 on there, just to help it cut. Go forward a bit, come backwards, a bit forward, a little bit more WD on there. So as it cuts through, you then need to rewind a little bit with a back turn, just to free it up. There we go. lost light, but I got it into the point. Oh, hang on, look, firstly I had to put a front extension on my existing cover so that it covers all of that, but also it stops all the rain coming in. I mean, it's not perfect by any stretch, but it was better than it was, where basically it was ending here. At least now it ends over there, but this should be kept nice and kind of protected and dry tonight. It's not in place by any stretch, but I've got the 4 bolts in, so that's all good. I've got 4 more to put in tomorrow. Yeah, I've got 4 more to put in tomorrow, but I still need to kind of take that off, put the membrane in there, Sikaflex it all down and stuff, and hopefully it'll, and before I do that I'll sand back some of this as well, because I've made a load of scratches with the jigsaw. But yeah, happy with that. Right, I'm going on with some of this rubber tape, which will just give it a nice air seal right on the edges. And it takes the contour of it fine. There we go. Well, I've tapped out all the holes, so I'm just setting up dry just so I can get the lines right. Make sure it's all works. All the holes have been tapped, all the bolts are in, so the dry run is complete. Now I've just got to take it apart, put on the Sikaflex, and then put it back together. Right, well there we go, just before the sun's gone in, I've managed to clear up most of the Sikaflex. So it's in. What I've got to do now is put the top on it. There we go. Happy days. So I'll wait for that to go off in a couple of days, sand it back a little bit, and then paint it all again. This whole kind of area needs to be kind of redone. I'll probably leave that in the aluminium though. Right, let's tidy up. Just in the nick of time, it's starting to rain. My cover's on, being kind of propped up and supported away from that area, but it's all pretty dry around there. It's gone off quite nicely. Looking forward to getting this pram hood done. Well, all things considered, I'm pretty happy with how that collar installation went. The only 2 bits I was really worried about was the oak basically splitting under the pressure of all the bolts going through. The bit that gave me a bit of trickiness was drilling I was worried about basically if I was to drill through the wedge on an angle, is it going to marry up with the tapped hole? So there's a little bit of jiggery pokery going on, but other than that, it worked out a treat. But it's nice and secure. The weather was good for me, so yeah, I'm happy with that. You'll have seen on the video just the remnants of the old bit which had been kind of over plated from the old water heater. It was annoying I couldn't really get mine to line up with that. I've got it as close to it as I could, but slightly irritating. I'd have had to put it on the back wall, but it was a different water heater entirely with different dimensions, so yeah, it is what it is. But I think once everything's in place and I've sanded it back and painted it again, I think it will look fine. So yeah, all pretty good. I got myself some of these, which are pretty basic, only stainless steel mugs, but I've been looking for these for ages. I know you can probably buy them online, pretty straightforward, but I never have the foresight of doing that. But these are really good. You can get the enamel ones that you can put on them, but I don't think they're as effective. But these are quite nice to drink from, but they keep my mug of tea warm for the whole of I'm a Celebrity, so yeah, it's damn good. Now, in next week's video, I'm giving you guys a chance to win one of these. This is the EcoFlow River 2. It's their little one, but this thing is absolutely brilliant. 600 watts, lasts for ages, charges in no time, will power pretty much anything, and weighs literally nothing. So, yeah, superb. Make sure you check out next week's video. I'll show you how to win one of them. But until then, I hope you guys are very well. Bye-bye.